Hello, everybody. Carrie Bowman here, professional certified life coach. How is everyone today? I don't even know what day it is. It's been a busy week for me. So today I'm going to talk about something that might make some people angry. But I learn the most when I like the shock factor. When someone shocks me, when they say something, and it's usually something that I don't like, that turns something inside of me, something that is really set in its ways or set in its perception or its belief, and usually someone pretty wise, or that has some experience with that area, says something to me and I don't like it, my first response is or something a little bit more verbal because I don't like it, because the way that I think and I feel and I perceive is really comfortable, and I've been doing it for a long time. And so I think pissing people off sometimes is necessary. It wasn't a comfortable experience for me to wake up. It wasn't a comfortable experience for me to start taking responsibility for myself. And it certainly wasn't a comfortable experience for me to start getting more aware about how I was creating a lot of my own misery. I didn't like it. I was angry. I was really angry when I was told a lot of the things that I say on these videos. But at the end of the day, there was something inside of me that knew, that was paying the slightest bit of attention to these people that would really shock me, because there was a part of me, I call it our truth or our higher being or our knowingness, that knew that they were right. And that anger was like this refutation of this, no, you can't possibly be right, because then that might mean something profound for me. But there was always a little piece of me that knew that they were. And that piece of me was the piece of me, just like the piece in you that's awake and waiting for you, waiting for the rest of you to begin to wake up too. So that's a really long introduction to what I want to talk about today. And that is people that are a victim. And this isn't just one person that I'm talking about, or one person that is like that their whole lives. We all go in and out of being and feeling and experiencing a state of being a victim. And basically, when we're in that state, nothing is going okay. Life sucks. This isn't fair. How could he? How could she? Nothing ever goes my way. I mean, literally, that's the word for this. It's being a victim. It's basically letting life happen to you instead of actively being a participant and taking responsibility for your life. And a lot of you know me pretty well by now, and I was a victim for a long, long time, and I got really comfortable being a victim. It was always everyone else's fault. It was always not fair. I always wanted everyone else to take responsibility for me. I wanted people to take responsibility for my happiness. I wanted people to take responsibility for me. Basically, it was I didn't want to take responsibility for me. And then when things didn't go well, I got really upset and really angry with everyone in my world because they weren't doing it my way, damn it. They weren't showing up the way they needed to show up to take care of myself. And I was in a victim state. I coach hundreds of clients, and it's very clear to me just by the dialogue, by the vocabulary that people have, if they are a victim. I mean, it doesn't take training to know this, and you probably have some friends, and maybe even yourself at times, dialogue that you notice internally that you can hear. You can hear when someone's in their victim. You can hear yourself when you're in your victim. Listen to the words that you're using. There's a victim dialogue, which I've already gone over, and then there is an empowered, resourceful, creative, taking responsibility for yourself dialogue, which is, gosh, this is really hard. But maybe I should try it this way, or I really need some help with this, or it's kind of this different space of power, because the victim has no power. That's ultimately, if you're in a victim space, and again, we all go in and out of these spaces, but if you're in one, you have completely forfeited your power. You basically have said, here's my power, and here to this person, take it, or here to your boss, take it, or here to the person driving in front of you, take it, or whatever it is. You literally have forfeited your power when you're a victim. When you step out of being a victim, even though it can be really, really frightening, because when I first stepped out of sorry, my cat completely distracted me. When I first began to step out of being a victim, I was terrified, because taking responsibility for myself was absolutely terrifying for me, because I was so scared that if I take responsibility, if I stop being a victim and I start actually taking care of myself and taking responsibility for my emotions, for my behavior, for my actions, then there's no one else to blame. And if there's no one else to blame and I still don't feel good, then what am I going to do? And I was really scared about that. Like, if I take responsibility and it doesn't work, then what the hell am I going to do? If it's no one else's fault, what am I going to do? Luckily for me, and for you, and for anyone watching this and everyone that's not watching this, that's not the way that it is. The people that are the most successful, the people that are the most happy and content are people that take responsibility for themselves. And you guys will hear me say this again and again. Stop eating my plant, sorry. You will hear me say this again and again. The beautiful thing about taking responsibility is that that is how you get free. Because if you're waiting for your boss or your husband or your wife or your child or your cat or whatever you're waiting for and to get it right or to change for your life to be better, then you're screwed. Because what if your husband or your wife or your boss or your cat, what if they don't ever do it right? And then you're never going to be okay, and you'll never be happy, and you'll never be able to change, and you'll never be able to be successful, because you're depending on things outside of yourself. So the beautiful thing, what I came to find in my own journey, is that by saying no more to the victim, because it's just an illusion, it's just blaming. When you say no more and you start taking responsibility, then things can actually begin to change. When you begin to take responsibility for yourself, that is the doorway by which we can walk through. And by taking responsibility for ourselves, we can actually begin to change, because then we aren't waiting for these people and these events and these environments to change for us to be okay. Screw that. I waited for 30 years. Nothing ever changed. I waited for all these people to get it right for me to be okay and happy. It didn't work. They're never going to be able to do it perfectly or continue to do it perfectly for you. You're never going to find it from outside of yourself. Stop looking. Stop looking, because it's not going to work. When you begin to take responsibility for yourself, and that begins with just your daily experience, with just your feelings. Asking yourself, what the hell am I feeling? What would it be like if I actually took responsibility for the anger that I'm feeling, or for feeling really scared? Take responsibility for feeling scared. There's nothing wrong with it. What would it feel like to take responsibility for feeling like I don't know what to do? That doesn't have to be so scary. But you don't have to wait for someone else to fix it for you. You don't have to wait for someone else to come in and save the day. Because the only way that you can get really free and then really begin to friggin' change and create a life that is incredible is if you take responsibility. And that is in the face of any and all victim. So what I encourage you to do today when you're driving to work or driving home or going to the grocery store or cooking dinner or whatever you're doing, is listen to the dialogue. And the moment you can identify words like them or you or they need to do this or how could she say or only if they would, when you start hearing those words, which is focused on the outside, behaviors and actions and all that stuff of everyone outside of yourself, when you're focused on them, you're not focused on you. So watch the dialogue. When you begin to notice that your awareness is going outside of yourself, focusing on outside of yourself, that if those things would be different, you would be okay. There's the illusion. It needs to be slammed. It needs to be smashed. I mean it violently. It has got to be slammed. It's got to be, you got to poke the holes in it, kick the holes in it, because there's no truth there. The only way you're ever going to achieve a state of being free, a state of being happy, a state of truly being connected is through your own self-awareness and taking responsibility for yourself. So watch the inner dialogue. And when it comes up, notice it, but then ask yourself, what if it wasn't their fault? What if they didn't have to do that in order for me to be okay? What if my kids could do this and this and this like they're doing and I can still be in a good mood? What if my husband or wife can go and do this and I can still be okay? Like, ask yourself, what if ... You will be amazed at the possibilities that will come in if you just say, what if? Because I promise you, there are a lot of what ifs that you can be living in that are going to be a lot more incredible than the ones you're living in now. So hope everyone is doing well. Hope this got you to open up and think a little bit. Feel free to post any questions or comments that you have. I love questions. I love comments. It means that you're open and you're listening. And those are really the essential requirements for change. So hope everyone's well and have a good day. Take care.